She's back. The Nun 2. It's on Max. They pushed it out in time just so you could watch this in time for Halloween. If you didn't catch it in theaters, it's already on Max. Just dropped in September. It's on Max now in October. So, I watched it. Of course I did, because I just watched The Nun like a week ago. So, I could be fresh for this. Sadly, this does not have the same director. It's noticeable. However, it does still have Taissa Farmiga. And we do not have Demian Bashir anymore, which is, I'm going to say, is a blow to the franchise. Let's just be honest. Demian Bashir is an amazing actor. However, we did pick up Storm Reed, who I think is a very promising young actor. And I think Storm has... I really enjoy Storm's work. And I like the fact that Storm has a big part in this. However, not Demian Bashir. I will say. Also, Taissa Farmiga is not Demian Bashir. As much as I love her, not Demian Bashir. So this film lost an Oscar. This franchise lost its Oscar nominee. The one person we probably shouldn't have lost, we lost. But no, Taissa has been called back to play her novitiate, now nun character. Now sister. She's a sister now. Sister. Teams up with Tia and Tamara Mowry to fight evil. And you can enjoy it all on Max with audio description. So aren't you just peached? What's that saying? Punch is peach, peach is punched. I don't know. It's something like that. Anyway, I didn't like this that much. It's a mixed bag for me. The first film I didn't like as much either, but it has its moments, and what it does have is great acting. And I gotta say that's the same thing here. If we're gonna start at the top of things worth talking about, this film still has a great cast. This franchise is still hiring solid actors, even the ones that I don't know. The ones beyond Farmiga and Reed. I don't think this film has bad acting in it. So that's good, because bad acting in horror films seems like it's pretty easy to find. You don't have to go too far before you stumble into bad actors in horror movies. So that's probably the biggest positive I could give the film. Although, again, not Demian Bashir. We don't. It is noticeable to not have somebody of his caliber walking throughout the entire film. But Taissa is given more to do as a result. Also, Storm Reed is given more to do as a result. So, girl power wins in The Nun 2. And I guess it's fitting, since the demon that they're fighting, Valak, is also... She's the girl boss, okay? She just wants to... She's trying to be a girl boss nun. That's what she's trying to do. And they thought they locked her away, but they were wrong. She's back. And evil has been set free. I still think that this girl's origin story, the nun's origin story, is far more interesting than either of the movies that they've made about her. Just when you hear it, like if you go back to the first movie and listen to it being told, and you're like, why didn't we make that movie? Why is that not the movie? Like, why? Is it too expensive to go that far back in time? I feel like that's the more interesting movie of where did this thing come from? Anyway, going down from acting, second best thing is I didn't hate the plot. The plot for the first film was kind of goofy. To be totally honest, I still remember when they showed up to Taissa, and they're like, "Oh, well, the Vatican sent us here because you're Romanian," and she's like, "No, I'm not." He's like, the Vatican said you'd be able to show me around Romania where you're from. It's just like, I'm not from Romania. Well, the Vatican doesn't make mistakes, so come with me anyway. I was like, why is this here? Why did we do this? You didn't have to write this. There's nobody that's forcing you to write this. So, I think the second film has more of a concise and coherent plot than the first film did. The first film was like, I don't know what we're doing, but we're going to try to scare you and try to come up with a plot around it and see what happens. And some stuff worked and some stuff didn't. This one has a little bit more of a coherent plot. However, it's just poorly directed. I'm sorry, I don't like anything that this guy touches. I don't like the third Conjuring film. He's responsible for it. I think there's a dramatic shift away from the tone in the first two films to that third film. I know some people are a fan. I'm not a fan. He directed that one, and then he also directed The Curse of La Llorona, which is just like jump scares. It's just, and that's what this is. He took The Nun 2 and was like, hey, let's just put jump scares together and make a movie out of it. Cool. All right, dude. Except every jump scare in here, I was like, we're getting a jump scare, or he's doing something crazy, right? He's doing something that's like kind of graphic or gory or spooky or scary or whatever, and you're just like, yep, this has never been done before in a movie before, ever, and in our entire lives, nobody's ever tried anything like this before. You are breaking new ground, sir. Congratulations. Brilliant. So, yeah, so not a big fan of the director. I'm a big fan of the actresses. I think the film misses Demian Bashir. The plot, I love reading the IMDb synopsis on it, which is just really just sort of like, we're back, you know? Like, do you need a plot synopsis? A priest is murdered and sister is called back. Done. And she meets Valak again. I feel like we're just stepping into like Friday the 13th sequels at this point. Like, Jason's back again. Guess who's back? You know, I guess if the franchise is popular enough, right? You don't really need a plot. You just need the main horror character to be scary enough to warrant a film. I didn't really love this. So, audio description wise, it's William Michael Redmond's team at Deluxe. So I'll give them a shout out, and I say that he really does try to make this film creepier. William Michael Redmond is the absolute perfect choice for any horror movie, because when he describes things, I don't know, it is actually it's more creepy. There are other voices that when they're put in horror films, just, they're like, it's like, thanks for the description, I liked it, it was fine. Then you put William Michael Redmond in there, and I'm like, oh my god. He has this like really intense level in his voice. So like when things are happening, like everything feels like it's some, like you're building intensity and you don't know what you're building intensity to. May not even be an intense sequence, but he just, when he's in horror movie mode, everything feels like it's like 2 seconds away from a jump scare. You know? She opens the door. She pulls out a coat. The coat is red. She tries on the coat. She looks at herself in the mirror. She likes what she sees. You know, it's just like, I don't know. He's just, he's one of my favorite narrators for that reason. He's made crappy horror films actually better because of the way he's able to help sort of with the jump scares. Because jump scares, the way that we get them as blind people often is revealed before they happen. Um, and there's a certain way that you can deliver the line to where it's like, where you feel like you're like, oh my God, you know, like it's coming into the thing, and then it happens. Or you can just be like, the demon's head pops out, and then you hear the, like the sound, whatever loud noise now accompanies every single jump scare in every single horror film of all time. It's always got to be a loud noise. It's like, is what you're doing scary? Or is it the fact that we're in dead silence and then all of a sudden there's a loud noise? Because those are not the same thing. You do realize that. Do I need to get all of the directors in Hollywood together? Can we talk about this? You could just have random loud noises with absolutely no visuals. None. And just scare the crap out of your audience by just continuously dropping the sound out and then just having like random loud noises. You don't ever need to actually even have a ghost in the film. You just what was that? You know, just all the time. So yeah, I think this film does, it's not awful, but I would have preferred a different director. Sorry, not sorry. Hashtag sorry, not sorry. I know some people like the third Conjuring film, and those people need a hug. They do. So, I'm going to give The Nun 2 a C+. It's really only just like one step down from what I gave The Nun. But it's basically me saying I didn't think The Nun 2 was better than The Nun 1. So, yeah. Anyway, not a huge step down. It's pretty much the same. I don't think you're going to get wildly different. The acting is still really good, and that's sort of the thing that holds this franchise together and is honestly really hard to come by sometimes in horror movies. It's something we take for granted, but I've actually come to really appreciate in horror films because I've seen far too many horror films where I'm like, what is up with this acting? What is going on in this film? The film might have a great concept, might even have a better director. But man, if you don't pick the right actors, it all goes out the window. That's why SAG is on strike, because they know. They know the real thing here. It doesn't really matter. You can pay DGA and WGA whatever. But if you cast that wrong person in the film and they can't deliver the lines, it doesn't matter how good that script is or how good the direction is. The wrong actress in the film, wrong actor in the film, your movie is dead. It is 100% dead. Could have been the best directed, best written, best shot, best scored. But if you have somebody on there whose line readings are like, oh no, what is that? Oh God, we have to run. Let's go. Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters anymore. So, yes, acting is probably the most important thing. So, and hopefully the actors get what they're due in the strike. So, anyway, thanks for watching. Please click subscribe. I'm trying to break 200 this year, so I'm 16 away from achieving that goal. And you can follow me at Mac the Movie Guy on X, Threads, and Instagram. You can go to my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it, and you can go to the adna.org. That's the adna.org. It'll let you know who's narrating your favorite film's television series. That's it. I will review something else and see you guys on the other side.